Good evening. The time is 6:32, and I'd like to call the Tuesday, May 12, 2026 Cibolo City Council meeting to order. For our roll call and excused absences, I would like to hold off. Ms. Councilwoman Roberts is just pulled up. She had a commitment, and she will be here shortly. So everyone is present, and Councilwoman Roberts will be here shortly. Let's go ahead and please let me introduce Jimmy Turner, the fire chaplain, and let's stand for the invocation, if you're able.
Here, Lord, that all of these leaders here have to be able to serve this community that we live in. We pray that your Spirit would go before this meeting, Lord, that the decisions that are made here would be ones that would be beneficial for the city itself and for the residents who live in the city of Cibolo, Lord. I pray that you be with each and every one of the leaders here, Father, as being a leader in this position can come with a lot of trouble and Father, I just pray that you would just bless them immensely for all that they do, Lord, that you watch over our beautiful city. We thank you, Lord, and we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I was informed prior to the meeting that Agenda 5, the presentation and award recognitions, need to be tabled until the next meeting. Do I have a motion to table?
I make a motion to table.
Second.
All right. Do we need a vote or just all say aye? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on to 6A, Community Action Month, presented to Corey Martin with and read by Councilwoman Patterson.
Sorry, I wasn't sure which order they were. Okay, designating May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas Mental Health Awareness Month has been observed since 1949 to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and promote mental health education. It is also an opportunity to increase understanding of the importance of mental health and to encourage the identification and treatment of mental illness. And whereas mental health is a fundamental part of an individual's overall health and well-being, and mental health remains a major public health concern. Each year, 1 in 5 adults experience some form of mental health condition, and an estimated 1 in 7 youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder. And whereas in 2025, the Cibolo Police Department responded to 228 welfare checks / mental health related calls, resulting in 135 immediate care. Of those, 51 cases involved juveniles. And whereas early identification and treatment can significantly improve the successful management of mental illness and support recovery, mental health training equips individuals to recognize the signs and symptoms, apply appropriate skills, and take action to help someone facing a mental health challenge. And whereas during this month, we encourage everyone to educate themselves about mental health conditions and available treatment options, and to challenge stigma by speaking respectfully and inclusively about mental health. We also encourage individuals to seek help when needed and to support others by fostering safe environments for open and honest conversations. And now, therefore, I, Kara Latimer, Mayor of the City of Cibolo, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, staff, and all citizens, hereby proclaim May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month in honor of those living with mental health challenges and their families, and to reaffirm our commitment to awareness, support, and understanding.
And we will present the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation to Officer Penna. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here. Good to see you guys. Next, I'm going to read the Schertz Cibolo Cemetery Proclamation being presented to Miguel Vasquez. Schertz Cibolo Cemetery Week. Whereas the National Trust designates the month of May for each year as National Preservation Month, and whereas this is a time when cities and historical societies promote their historical landmarks and celebrate heritage tourism, and whereas the city of Cibolo celebrates its roots in the farming heritage when cotton and corn were the important crops in the early growth of the city, and whereas where there were farms, there were numerous farm workers who harvested the cotton by hand. And whereas one of the founding families of Cibolo, Ferdinand and Elizabeth Dietz, donated a portion of their farm in 1905 for a cemetery dedicated to their workers. And whereas this cemetery came to be known as the Schertz Cibolo Cemetery in 1973. And whereas this burial ground is now a state and county historical landmark and is designated as such with official Texas historical marker, and whereas the Cemetery Association members continue to honor the tricultural influences of the Cibolo Valley, including Native American, German, and Mexican families. And whereas many descendants of these families have served this country with distinction by joining the military and have successfully risen through the ranks, including one who attained the position of Brigadier General of the Air Force. And now, therefore, I, Carol Latimer, Mayor of the City of Cibolo, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2026, Schertz Cibolo Cemetery Week. Cemetery. So this was very special to me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you so much. Good, thank you
So
for
these-
coming out. Thank you.
These are some of the members.
Yes.
And in case you're wondering,
Yes,
that general
yes.
is right there.
Oh,
So that's-
congratulations, and thank you for your service.
That's John Del Toro.
Oh. We're gonna have to get together and talk tombstones.
Yes.
Thank
We want to earn your business.
Yeah. Wait a minute. That was funny. Okay, now Community Action Month, presented to Corey Martin and read by Councilwoman Sanchez Stevens.
Proclamation. Whereas the Community Council of South Central Texas was established as a community action agency on May 11, 1965, and whereas the service area encompasses the greater South Central and West Texas counties of Atascosa, Bandera, Bee, Brewster, Crane, Comal, Culberson, Dimmitt, Edwards, Frio, Gillespie, Guadalupe, Hudspeth, Jeff Davis, Carnes, Kerr, Kendall, Kinney, LaSalle, Live Oak, Maverick, Medina, McMullen, Pecos, Presidio, Real, Terrell, Uvalde, Valverde, Wilson, and Zavala. Whereas Community Action has made essential contributions to individuals and families across this nation by creating economic opportunities and strengthening communities, and whereas Community Action is a robust state and local force connecting people to life-changing services and creating pathways to prosperity in 99% of all American counties, and whereas Community Action builds and promotes economic stability as an essential aspect of enabling and enhancing stronger communities and stable homes and whereas Community Action promotes community-wide solutions to challenges throughout our cities, suburbs, and rural areas. And whereas Community Action delivers innovative services and supports that create greater opportunities for families and children to succeed, and whereas Community Action insists on community participation and involvement, ensuring that all sectors of the community have a voice and will be heard. And whereas Community Action is celebrating 61 years of innovation, impact, and providing proven results for Americans. Now therefore, Mayor Kara Latimer of Cibolo, Texas hereby proclaims May 2026 as Community Action Month in recognition of the hard work and dedication of all Cibolo, Texas community action agencies.
Is Corey Martin here? Is Corey Martin here? When I called her. Let's give it to you. Moving on to citizens to be heard. This is the only time during the council meeting that a citizen can address the city council. It is the opportunity for visitors and guests to address the city council on any issue to include agenda items. All visitors wishing to speak must fill out the sign-in roster prior to the start of the meeting. City council may not deliberate on any non-agenda issue, nor may any action be taken on any non-agenda issue at this time. However, city council may present any factual response to items brought up by citizens. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body. Remarks may also be addressed to any individual member of the council so long as the remarks are about matters of local public concern and are not disruptive to the meeting or threatening to the member or any attendee, including city staff. Any person violating this policy may be requested to leave the meeting, but no person may be requested to leave or forced to leave the meeting because of the viewpoint expressed. Citizens who want to submit written comments to be read during the citizens' comment portion of the city council meeting should include their name, address, and reason why they are unable to attend the meeting at which they want their comments read. Comments must be submitted to the city secretary at citysecretary@cibolotx.gov no later than 2 p.m. prior to the city council meeting. All comments received that include the required information will be provided to the mayor and council and may be summarized or read at the meeting at the discretion of the presiding officer. And this meeting is live streamed. Do we have any write-ins? Okay, thank you. Then first I would like to call to the podium Dominique Harmon. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Guadalupe County Master Gardeners just to say thank you. We had a wonderful plant sale May 18th, and we had a lot of community involvement. We had a lot of Master Gardeners that showed up. We had city councilwomen come. We had Parks and Recs members come. We just had a wonderful time. About 260 people came through the garden that day. Up until 11, then Rain-mageddon came and wind came, and so we had issues. Oh, is it struck out? So, but we were able to raise almost $3,000 for the Master Gardeners. So thank you so much. We appreciate that support and you saying yes to letting us do that, and we hope to do it again next year and make it even more successful. So we just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you,
That's it.
Dominique.
Hope you have a good night, and thank you so much for all you do for our community. We appreciate you.
Thank you also for, thank you also for everything that y'all have done to that garden. It looked fantastic. It really, really looked good. The plants were in full force. The cleanup of the area that you've done was great. It was really amazing just to see that, let alone the plant sale and all the community partners that you had out there, the other master gardeners and the other parks that are being maintained. So thank you for all that you do.
Yes, and 2 days later, it got flooded. A river was in the back, and it is just, so we're going to rebuild, and we're going to do things. The city's working to get us more butter sticks, and so we hope to get it back to, it was beautiful. But we're going to get back there. Thank you for acknowledging that. That's appreciated on our part.
Feast or famine with that rain.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the whole city, right? We're going to get through it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
And next, Terry Hines. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to grab the mic. If I could start off by just giving some accolades to Dr. Vasquez. My wife and I heard a line on television that you can freely use, so I don't own the phrase, but you're doing a fantastic job of celebrating and honoring memory from milestones to headstones. That's exactly what you're doing. I thank you for all you're doing over there. Milestones to headstones. So I apologize with my comments. I want to apologize for not being here early enough at the last meeting to tell all of you that took time out of your day and out of your life to come help us with our car show. We had Mustang Donetta. All of you did a great job with all of this. Mayor Latta, remember the 53 kind of a teal colored GMC truck? That was the show winner. He did a fantastic job with that one, didn't you? Didn't he? And Marissa, we appreciate you coming over and not being judgmental, but helping us judge. He did a great job with all of that. It was a wonderful day. It was a great showing. Even though we moved our venue and moved our time, we still had 41 contestants compete, and we raised thousands of dollars to help support our police officers. Our tax dollars support our police department, but we support our officers with all of these. And we really do want to thank, Chief Andres, you were right there in the middle of everybody helping judge cars and working all day long. And having some officers there to display some of the accoutrements we've been able to assist our officers with, and having the drones on site, and people from age 8 to 80 enjoy the opportunity to see through the drone and see how these are aiding our community. Was really very helpful. We're really proud to have the day to spend with you and with your officers and with each one of y'all for coming out and just spending some time with us. We appreciate all your efforts, and y'all were a great job. I'm really proud to have had y'all on our team. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Thanks the Police Academy alumni for putting that on. And next up, Devin Christensen. Good evening and welcome. Hi.
So just here to observe. So thank you.
Welcome. And Crystal Haynes. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am also participating in Leadership Corps with the Chamber, so just here to observe. And thank you so much for all that you do serving our community.
Thank you. And now we'll get to 8, the consent agenda. All items listed below are, does anybody want to pull anything off? Because I'm going to read this and then read them all. No? Okay. All items listed below are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered as part of the order of business. 8A, approval of the minutes from the April 14th, 2026 meeting. 8B, approval of the minutes from the April 28th, 2026 meeting. Approval of the minutes from the April 28th, 2026 special meeting. Any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Okay, next moving on to 9A, the Union Pacific sidewalk across the railroad tracks on Main Street. I made a commitment that when I was very first newly in office, I had a discussion with Mr. Reed, and we moved forward to try to get the sidewalk over the railroad tracks on Main Street. We're 60 years young, and it would behoove us to have that sidewalk, and I know that we'll hear where that's at in the administrative follow-up. But I will keep it on my agenda until such time as we can walk on the sidewalk. The next I would like to do is talk about the economic development and council highlights of recent events. So I wanted to thank our economic development department for engaging with in our relationship with the Greater San Antonio Chamber and sponsoring the General's Tent at the recent air show. And I want to say what a great opportunity that was to connect with businesses in the Greater San Antonio area, and to I actually have 2 appointments with two business owners or two business folks that we're looking to continue talking with. So that was a very productive and an amazing opportunity. And hopefully we'll get to do that again, and we'll be able to invite more of our businesses, make sure our council has well, you guys were all invited, and make sure everybody knows what's happening and when it's happening as soon as possible. Was there, what else? There was something else I was supposed to say that I don't have written down.
Maybe the SAMA trade show?
Oh, the SAMA Trades Show. Yes, thank you. Then after that, we, myself, Councilwoman Sanchez Stevens, and the Economic Development Department, several economic development, I'm sorry, yes, who else? The several of our economic development board members went, and yes, Randy, you were there, and Councilman Roberts was there, and my apologies for not writing it down, but it was great. We actually got to see some of our Cibolo businesses that were there, and meet with them and thank them for choosing Cibolo to bring their business to, and spoke to many others that are looking for business expansion or relocation to the most thriving, awesomest city of choice. So thank you, everybody, for participating in that, and for our economic development for providing that opportunity for us to reach out. Thank you. All right. Moving on to 10, staff updates, presentation by Judge Ed Phillips on the municipal court. Welcome and good evening, Judge Phillips.
Good evening, Mayor Latimer. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor, council members, Mr. Reed, Ms. Chapman, citizens of Cibolo. My name is Ed Phillips, and I have had the privilege and honor of serving the city of Cibolo for 16 years as your municipal court judge. Since this is the first time meeting this council, I do this about every 3 years so that at least you can put a face with a name in case somebody wants to yell at you about the court. But I call it the State of the Court Address, just so you know what's going on with the court, what we do, because a lot of people have no idea of what we do in municipal court. They don't know the difference between the municipal court from the district court. I have people ask me, well, did you hear any murder cases this week? No. We handle fine-only Class C misdemeanors. For instance, well, I'll go through that in a minute. But a couple of things about me. I'm 75 years old. I've been practicing law for, it'll be 50 years in November 1. I've been a municipal judge for 40 years in cities. I'm still a judge in 2 other cities in addition to Cibolo. I have been recently appointed to serve in a contentious jury trial in Kerrville, which we just concluded by the administrative judge for that district. So I feel like I've got quite a bit of experience. We do conduct jury trials. We conduct bench trials. You ask for a trial, we'll give it to you. And most people, a lot of people think, well, this is just like San Antonio, which if you ask for a jury trial, the officer's not going to show up. That's not the case here. Officers always show up here, and they do a great job. The one thing about the police department here and in the other courts that I serve, they don't make stuff up. If they don't know, they don't remember the case, they'll tell the prosecutor, and the prosecutor will not prosecute the case. It's not going to be done on a whim. Before I go any further, I do want to give praise and to the people who actually run the court. In addition, Ms. Chapman, we've got Yolanda and Sasha, who are the court clerks. They do all the work. They get the dockets ready. They take care of the cases at the counter. They're the grease that makes the wheels turn. And so without them, the court would not operate. And I'm blessed to have both of them. They're awesome. Ms. Chapman's doing a great job since she's come on board, so wanted to make sure that we honored them. We have court on the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month. In the event there is something that we need to address more time to, we will set that on another date, usually on a Thursday afternoon. But we try to give everybody their day in court. A lot of people just want to come in and say what they want to say, and then they end up doing defensive driving. We dispose of a lot of cases by way of defensive driving or deferred disposition, which is a probation. So you might have heard it called deferred adjudication, but that's in the higher courts. The municipal court is governed by a different chapter in the Code of Criminal Procedure, so it's called deferred disposition. One thing I do try to do is to make people feel at ease when they come into court. Most of them are scared to death. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know if I'm going to put them in jail. They don't know if what's going to happen to them. So I try to put them at ease. If appropriate, joke around a little bit with them. But I try to get my point across, especially to the young people. Young people, sometimes I wish I could get inside of their heads and think, what were you thinking? Councilwoman Cunningham, you can relate. I know. But our typical dockets run about 125 to 140. I think tomorrow we have a docket with 163 people. So we typically hear, say in a year, we hear close to 2,500 cases, or 2,500 cases are filed. A lot of cases are handled at the counter. And then the people that want to be heard, we do it right here on the second and fourth Wednesdays. Our main cases that we hear are speeding, speeding in a school zone, expired registration, no insurance, and no driver's license. You'd be amazed how many people don't think they need a driver's license or insurance. One thing that I do, it makes people mad. If they tell me they don't have a driver's license or insurance, I don't let them drive out of here. I said, you need to call somebody that'll come get you. Well, I don't have anybody to come get me. Then call an Uber. Because I don't want them driving out here, get on 78, have a wreck, and the officer says, well, where were you? I was just in court. For what? No driver's license, no insurance, and they just let you drive out of here. Yeah. Well, I don't want that to happen. It subjects the city to liability, and so it's obviously not something that I want to happen for the city. Probably as far as non-traffic cases, we have a lot of disorderly conduct fighting. People are just angry seemingly for no reason. Lots of possession of drug paraphernalia cases, theft cases, some simple assaults, some assaults with family violence. So we have a large range of things that we do here. Like I said, in the last 12 months, we've heard close to 2,500 cases have been filed. I don't hear all of them. And then I mentioned that a lot of the traffic cases are handled by deferred disposition or defensive driving. The purpose of the traffic laws and the city ordinances are to obtain compliance. That's what we want. We want compliance. We don't want you to make the same mistake twice or 3 times. So that's what I focus on, is to get people to comply with what they know they ought to do, but they don't do. And like I said before, in my cases, nobody goes to jail unless they do something or don't do something they already told me they were going to do. In 40 years, I put 2 people in jail overnight. So, because they didn't want to do what they told me they were going to do after several opportunities. Some of the policies I have that are my policies, I require people who are placed on deferred disposition to come back at the end of the deferral period so that I can put them under oath. Since we're our court of record, put them under oath, and I can ask them questions. Have you complied with the terms of your deferral? Most of them are honest. Some not so much, but they are under oath, so most of them recognize the fact that they don't want to be guilty of perjury. The other thing that I do is I don't let parents pay fines or expenses. Kid gets a ticket, kid needs to pay for the ticket. I don't care if I have to wait 6 months to get paid. I want him or her to earn the money. And because most of the kids, you say, are you able to pay this today? And they'll look like one of those bobblehead dogs, They'll go like that to mom or dad, and they'll say, no, why are you looking at them? They didn't get the citation. You did, and so you're going to pay for it. So those are two of my policies that I try to enforce. They'll say, well, parents will say, well, can I loan him the money and have him work it off? So long as you collect it. You should be aware that there's a new statute that went into effect in January of 2025 called the Youth Diversion Statute, Youth Diversion Act. And what that is it's designed for juvenile offenders, those are 16 and under, who commit a non-traffic case, disorderly conduct, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of alcohol, disorderly conduct. And what the legislature did is they said, well, we're going to give these kids a break, and instead of having them plead guilty or not guilty, we're going to have them enter into an agreement with the court to do two things, or a minimum of two things. One of them is watch a video. The other one is to do so many hours of community service within a specified period of time. If they complete the program, then the case is dismissed with nothing on their record, and it's automatically expunged when they turn 18. So that's a second chance type of statute that people, most of the parents seem to like. Some of them say, no, I want my boy to go to jail. Well, no, I can't do that. Anyway, a lot more that goes on here. I invite any of you to come in to the court at any time and sit down and listen, ask questions. Quite frankly, if you have any questions now, I probably overstayed my stay. But you know how lawyers are. They talk too much anyway. That's what I always tell lawyers who are trying cases here. I said, brevity is a gift. And so keep it short. So does anybody have any questions? May I?
Is there any questions for Judge?
Okay, well, thank you for allowing me the time on the agenda to meet you, and I welcome you into court anytime if you don't have a ticket. No, don't come in with a ticket.
I hope I don't see you in court.
Because I treat everybody the same.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to say that because
Thank you.
you'd probably know who the person is. So. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge Phillips. Thank you. All right, 10B, Administration. Capital Improvement Programs, updates on projects, Main Street Sidewalk across Railroad, Planning SB 1555 grant, Planning Veterans Nimitz Park renovation, Planning Community Center renovations, Phase 2, Planning FM 78 water main extension, under construction FM 78, sewer rehabilitation under construction FM 1103, utility relocation, design Deer Creek Boulevard, Cordillera to Falling Sun, substantial completion FY25 street rehabilitation package 2, under construction Silver Wing CBD to Thistle Creek, Town Creek Road, Green Valley Road to Bentwood Pass, Fire Road Run, Silver Wing to Kipper Avenue, Tolly Road Design, Town Creek Trail Design, RFQs on the whole 9 yards. Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. Let me go through the items that are short, and then I will go through the project updates. We have several competitive proposals and processes going on right now. Those are noted in the updates on the capital improvement program projects, so I'll touch on that later. No new staff travel, out-of-state travel. I did send an email earlier this evening, right after 5. I overlooked an out-of-state travel for the police department that occurred in April. And this was to send one police officer to the Tyler Technologies National Conference. Council will remember that we invested $250,000 in that system. Is that correct, Chief Andres?
Yes, sir.
And so this is the one officer who's in charge of overseeing the implementation of that program. And so I sent you that information so that you know that he went to that in April. But there's no new out-of-state travel to report for the coming month. Recruitment for Public Works Director. The city has posted this position on the city's website, on LinkedIn, and other job listing sites. First review of applicants will begin May 26th, so after a 2-week period. It'll remain open until we actually select finalists for interviews. So let me get into the capital improvement program. First, we have Cibolo Summer Nights event, Touch a Truck, this Friday, May 15th, and that was due to the rain event. And so from 6:30 to 9 p.m., right here at the Multi-Event Center, we have heavy equipment, fire trucks, police cars, Shirts EMS, and other large vehicles for kids to get excited to get on and just work with the staff or the individuals with that equipment. And then first 100 kids will receive a safety vest. So free safety vest to the first 100 kids, and other giveaways as well during the event. I will just touch upon the updates on different projects. Anything that's no change, in your email, you'll see that is black. The updates are in red. First project is we are installing missing signage and pavement markings near the railroad on Main Street. So staff will be making some pavement markings near there. I think that relates to the crosswalk near the railroad. The community center renovations phase 2, due to delays from the HVAC unforeseen issues, the staff delayed getting out the competitive proposal, but the new date to issue that is May 22nd. That is when we'll have 100% plans. Once we have the 100% plans that reflect the need for HVAC repairs and upgrades, that'll go out. Procurement will then begin late May, go into June. We'll have something in front of council, most likely in late July, and then the construction will start thereafter, after you award a contract. On the FM 78 sewer rehabilitation, that project is now 99% complete, and crew is working on it, creating a punch list for the contractor. Remember, this is the sewer rehabilitation that goes towards Funtown RV. And so now we have a better sewer service to that stretch of FM 78 to serve those existing businesses. FM 1103 utility relocation, you'll remember that the original bids came in higher than projected, higher than our budget. So the new bid opening is June 1st, award of contract thereafter. Deer Creek Boulevard is completed. Staff is working on project closeout for all projects in Package 1. That includes Green Valley Road 1, Green Valley Road 2, and Deer Creek Boulevard. Under FY25 Street Rehab Package number 2, that includes Silver Wing, Town Creek Road, and Firebird Run. Town Creek Road, the updates are because of the inclement weather that we experienced, crews came back and the final lift of asphalt has been completed, as many of you may know. Pavement markings will be placed May 18th and 19th. And then on Firebird Run, because of the same weather that we had, contractors currently working on sidewalks. Asphalt work also has been completed, and the pavement markings will be down around May 19th. So again, they'll be on those two roads at the same time, putting down pavement markings. No updates on the other projects on the list. So thank you, Mayor and Council. Happy to answer any questions.
What happened to the air conditioner?
I'll let Ms. Hernandez speak to that.
Absolutely. Good evening, Council and Mayor. Hope you all are doing well. So as you know, we're working on the renovation of the second phase for the community center, and we were well over doing our design plans, but as we were checking the HVAC to make sure that it served what we had, what the renovation was, we uncovered that we needed to look a little bit further and redesign that airflow system. And so they're taking up the HVAC mechanical engineers are taking a little bit longer than we anticipated to come up with the design plans. So that pushed our finish deadline into May. But I'm still going to be working very quickly. I already have a meeting scheduled with the team so they can review the plans on the 27th, and we can, finalize it and put a bow on that and start the procurement process.
So it's just a design?
Just the design.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And on to 10C, the Police Department. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not, wait, backing up to the.
Sorry.
air
Ms.
conditioning.
Hernandez, with the AC it's being redesigned, is this going to add to the renovation cost that has been set aside? Or is that being included in the funds that are available?
So that is part of the design. Right now, nothing is impacting the construction costs, but once we get it bidded out is when we'll know how much more that impact will be. I will get a cost of probable construction costs to see if there was a delta there. So until the design is completed, I really won't know. But I will let you know if I do.
Councilwoman Cunningham?
I had a question, and I don't think it would be for you because you weren't here yet, but when we purchased that building, we specifically asked to make sure that all the systems were good to go, that the foundation was checked very thoroughly, that we weren't buying a building that we were gonna have to dump money into. And so the renovations are for more cosmetic and usefulness than structural. Would something like this have been caught by the inspector, or should it have been caught by the inspector?
So let me ask Ms. Hernandez to clarify. Are you saying that the design and our design professionals said we need to look more closely at the ductwork, the airflow system? Is that what it is?
That is what it is, because we're building walls. We're adding additional walls, partitioning, doors. So now we got to look to make sure the airflow
Okay.
is proper for every office, every wall
Okay.
that we're putting up. That's
So
what we're
this
looking
isn't
at.
correcting a flaw?
No.
It's adjusting for what we're building?
That is correct.
Okay,
I'm
thank
sorry
you.
if I didn't
It's
clarify
for the
that.
design, because one section of it that's currently completely open will be walls.
We'll start putting walls.
Actually closed off and secure, so, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Mhm. All right, moving on to 10C now, Police Department.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I know you received the Police Department summary of our calls for service and the Animal Services report. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Not at this time?
Okay.
You have a question? No? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you. 11, executive session. The council will meet in executive session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney, and Section 551.074, personnel matters, to discuss the following. 11A, discussion on the Grand Prairie versus State of Texas lawsuit, Section 551.071, discussion pursuant to 551.074, personnel matters regarding the duties and responsibilities of the city manager per Section 3.07 of the city charter regarding fire apparatus operator, fire chief, and the application of personnel matters, and how the application of policies may affect department operations, including the appropriate use of city property. 11C, discussion regarding the duties and responsibilities of the city attorney under Section 551.074. And we are going to bring up for discussion in the executive session 14A. Discussion considering a petition for release of area from the city of Cibolo's Texas extraterritorial jurisdiction of 2 tracts of land totaling 23.329 acres located in the Pedro San Miguel survey number 256, generally located at 5711 Green Valley Road, known as Ortiz Tract, under section 551.071. And the time is now 7:16, and we convene to executive session. Okay. Oh. Okay. Um, The time is now 8:38, and I will call the meeting back into order. On item 11A, no action was taken. On item 11B, no action is taken. On item 11C, it was scheduling, so really no action was taken. So we are reconvening into regular session and taking or giving direction or action if necessary on items no action was taken. 13A, resolutions, approval, disapproval of a resolution by the City Council of the City of Cibolo, Texas, ratifying a resolution for a grant application to the Office of the Governor for the Cybersecurity Grant Planning Project and designating an authorized official. Mr. Beekman.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Good evening, Howard Mayor and Council. This is Phase 2 of the cybersecurity grant from the Office of the Governor. It is an 80-20, 20% match on that. We'll be using this grant to fund an authenticator app that will be deployed citywide, as well as physical network access control, and also some audible alarm systems in the police department. That's what we have planned for it.
Did you say systems access control?
Network access control. NAC, yes, NAC, yes. So.
Any questions? Any discussions?
Make a motion to approve a resolution by the City of Cibolo, Texas, approving the ratification of the resolution for a grant received from the Office of the Governor for the Cybersecurity Grant Planning Project and designating authorized officials.
I second that. Sorry.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Number 14A, discussion action to consider a petition for release of area from the City of Cibolo, Texas, extraterritorial jurisdiction, ETJ, of 2 tracts of land totaling 23.329 acres located in the Pedro San Miguel Survey number 256, generally located at 5711 Green Valley Road, known as the Ortiz Tract. Mr. Vasquez.
Mayor and members of the commission, this city council, this is a petition to release 23 acres of land from the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, the ETJ. The petition was reviewed by the city secretary's office and was complete. The property is generally located at 5711 Green Valley Road. It's known as the Ortiz Tract, and I believe the city attorney will be making the staff recommendation. Oh. Oh, okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Buck Benson. I represent the developer who would be developing this particular piece of property, and we asked that the property owner make the request. This is the second time this petition has come to the council. It was denied originally, but that was prior to the Supreme Court's decision in the City College Station case. So we are back with a request to be released from the ETJ. I'm assuming your city attorney kind of went over the City College Station case, but I was reading it again, and there was some language in it I felt, really pretty strongly about. It says the city is required to immediately release the area from the ETJ. I'm assuming in the facts you're familiar with that case, but the same concept of a city's decision whether or not it can release or not release property from its ETJ, the concept of Chapter 42 and the specific provisions dealing with that process, which we're falling under here tonight, was discussed, and it was pretty clear. It says, because releasing the area is the only action a city is authorized to take on a valid petition, its consent is not required. More importantly, it says because the statute prescribes a mandatory action and a mandatory consequence for noncompliance, no discretion is afforded to the municipality on these matters. So I'm not, and then I think the last line I just wanted to point your attention to, it says the local government code imposes a mandatory duty on city officials to immediately release an area described in a release petition, and if it does not happen within a specific time frame, the release is effectuated as a matter of law. So I just wanted to reiterate those points. We're really here more just to exercise our rights under that chapter of local government code, but I will tell you, the developer I represent has 2 other properties that are similarly situated. And we do have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Reed, I believe next week, to talk about not only this property, but the other 2 that are all 3 of which are in the ETJ, and all 3 of which are adjacent to city limits. And we are going to meet with Mr. Reed and talk in earnest about trying to come to some type of potential development agreement on all 3 of those properties, including this one to be annexed into the city, provided certain elements of our projects, as we like to see fit, can be accommodated. But that's not going to happen until next week. In the interim, this petition is before you. If it's denied, I think according to the Texas Supreme Court, it's granted and we're out. But in the event that happens, we certainly have the legal ability to opt back into your ETJ and be annexed. But I think in the interim, we would ask that you follow the Supreme Court and allow for this release to proceed as set forth. So that's kind of where I am. We'd like to, again, work with the city, come up with something, but we're just asking that this process be followed. And again, we will meet with Mr. Reed, I think it's next Wednesday, and talk about this property as well as the other 2 that are, again, similarly situated, and be coming back to you, I presume.
So there's 2 other properties
Yes, ma'am.
in the ETJ or in the city limits?
ETJ. So there's three in total. I refer to
That comprise the 23 acres?
No, there's two other separate properties that don't comprise. Jesus, sorry. Wow.
It's okay. It's very
Yes.
loud, I know.
No, I hit it with my head. My bad. But yes, ma'am. There's 2 other developments, 2 other separate parcels. So 3 subdivision potential developments. Is that right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mr. Clarifier?
Thank you,
Mr.
Mayor.
Reed?
Mr. Benson's pointing out there are other properties. We've not had discussions around those other properties, so at this meeting, he would disclose those other properties to me and the staff.
Can you repeat that? Because it's a lot of echo.
Sorry.
What did you say? That he did disclose or did?
He did not disclose. I'm not aware of the other properties. I'm aware of the 23 acres. So I'm just saying at the meeting, you would be able to clarify for
Yes,
me
we'll be able
what
to
those properties are.
Talk about.
That's all, Mr. Benson. I just wanted to clarify.
So, Mr. Benson,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for bringing this forward. And, one of the things that I feel very compelled to share with the public at this time is that sometimes people don't understand what the extraterritorial jurisdiction is. So we have the city limits, and then we have a portion or a distance out, I believe it's 2 miles, out from our city limits, which we call our extraterritorial jurisdiction, and then we have the unincorporated county. And in the process of development and how our city grows and how Guadalupe County is growing, our city entered into something called an interlocal agreement with our county. And the reason that we entered into that interlocal agreement with our county is because of safe and orderly development. Because the county doesn't provide the police services like the cities do. They don't provide the fire services like the cities do, right? They don't provide the street maintenance and a lot of the things that the cities do. And so as cities grow, the county had begun to give plating authority over to cities like the city of Cibolo, where it wasn't quite the city of Cibolo, but it was really close to the city of Cibolo. And so then there were some legislators that got together and they decided they wanted to dispute the ability for whether you could be in the ETJ or just take yourself out of the ETJ. And so then, tra-la, Mr. Benson shows before us and says, I would like to be removed from your ETJ. And in a large part, that might be confusing to people, the public in general, as to why you would want to do something like that. Maybe you could explain why.
Madam Mayor, I'm not.
I'm just curious,
Yes.
For the public.
I don't know that I want to necessily or need to explain.
Okay,
why-
I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just.
Yeah, no, that's a great, we don't, but I will tell you, we're not, as the developer on this tract and the other two that are also in ETJ, we are open to having, as mentioned, I think in your staff write-up on this case, we're very open to having a collaborative discussion with the city about our projects. We're
Right.
not, we are very open to that, and we would encourage that. We will be meeting with Mr. Reed to discuss this property as well as their other developments, and we would like to have, collaborate with y'all on that. I think we just, with respect to this property, we filed the petition and it's moving forward. But again, if the city takes no action and it's considered to be out, we can come back into the ETJ and also be annexed. That we're not, that part of what we want to visit with Mr. Reed about is potentially annexing our other developments as well as this one, if certain conditions can be.
The ones that are already built or the ones that you have yet to build?
We have yet, they have not been started. These would be brand-new projects.
And so I can appreciate that. And I think that I would like the public to know that we have a fiduciary and moral obligation to the safe and orderly development of our city. And we have created codes, and we just had at our last meeting, codes about the foundations. The quality of the foundation affects the plumbing that attach to the public lines, water and sewer. A lot of those things are things that we don't be strict for the sense of just being strict. We try, and sometimes we even fail, but we really genuinely try to ensure that we're expanding our fire, our police, the quality of foundations that are placed in our city, the road access, the width of the roads, the driveway. We really do a lot of energy. We have whole boards devoted to that. The Unified Development Code, we have the Planning and Zoning Commission, we have our DCM, we have a whole planning department, and we really take all of that into account when we are making these subdivisions. So I am really glad and very heartened to hear that you are really willing to work with the city, because honestly, we're just also trying to create a community that's safe and has resiliency, and that it's a great place to live, that the Cibolo is the city of choice. And so is there anybody that has any other questions? Okay, then do I have any action? Yes.
Mayor, if I could, my recommendation to the council based on the discussion is that you actually take no action. I would not take action to affirmatively release it from your ETJ based on past actions of the council, nor would I take action to deny it outright. If you take no action, then the statute will operate as it is. So,
Thank you, Mr. Santee. All right. Thank you, Mr. Benson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, 14B. Discussion action to approve a professional service agreement with Kimley Horn for the preliminary engineering and schematic design of Weidner Road expansion, Town Creek, Bentwood Pass to FM 1103, and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement in the amount not to exceed $1,394,855. Mr. Al-Haddad. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Me, Saif Al-Haddad with Public Works. I have here Mr. Stephen Daniel with Kimley Horn from the consultant side. He's the project engineer for the proposal. He'll be answering any questions you may have about the project. So this project is part of the city CIP for the next 5 year. The city is proposing to expand Weedner Road from the intersection of Town Creek and Bentwood Pass all the way to FM 1103. The project will include drainage improvement and drainage analysis for the 2 low water crossing within that segment and the 2 contributing floodplain areas. The project will also include expanding roadway from a collector roadway and realign it to be more applicable with the city design criteria and getting to a collector roadway section that accommodate future traffic demand. The proposed professional services with Kimley Horn includes the preliminary engineering, schematic design for the corridor that will include roadway alignment, drainage requirement, looking into the design constraints that can impact the detailed design and overall scope identification, as well as opinion of probable costs. And again, Mr. Stephen Daniel with Kimley Horn is here to answer any questions you may have about the project.
May I ask a question?
Please.
I just have a question. It seems like we use this particular firm for everything within the city. Did we not go out and look at other potential firms that could handle this as well?
Right now, we have an agreement, with an on-call contract with these consultants for the 3 years. And Kimley Horn, based on the qualifications, based on the resume, the history of project they implemented, they were the candidate for this project. They have done multiple projects with a similar size, similar scope. And also because this project potentially would have a bridge design component into it, and that falls into their area of expertise as well.
I'm aware of what they've done within the city. I'm just asking, why are we not potentially looking to see if there's other firms that could do it as well?
I think in this year that the 3-year contract with the consultants we already have contracted, it will end, and we'll go for a new request for proposals and qualifications from a new set of consultants, and then we will evaluate and score based on history, based on experience, based on similar project, and then we will go to select another group of consultants.
Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mrs. Roberts, in response to your question, we have 6 MSAs, master service agreements, with different engineering firms, and we have spread that work out on different construction projects. So Tolly Road, LAN is our on-call engineer that's working on that project. The Town Creek Trail, Collier's engineer is working on that one. Kimley Horn, and I'll look to Safe and Mrs. Hernandez, I'm not sure if they're working on another large construction design project at this time. So this would be the first in several years that this firm's done design work on a potential capital improvement project.
I'm sorry, they are working on the parks, Nimitz and Veterans.
Yes, so they're
that's a
doing,
very large expenditure that the city's putting out to this particular, engineer firm as well. So how is that spreading it around?
Hang on, I have a
Sure.
I want to ask this question because this is Kimley Horn is doing both of our parks, and we're seeing tonight if they're going to do this road. And we, Mr. Al-Hadid had said that they have like a package deal. And so Kimley Horn has a very good reputation for being able to get grants. They have a grant writing division, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. So is that part of our package for our parks?
So I I would like to answer the question as why this firm gets picked. They're part of the on-call. The on-call makes it more efficient. It cuts down the time because if every time you have a project, you have to go out there for solicitation, that is about a 6-month project length just to get a contractor, a consultant to start doing the work. So having an on-call is typically a good idea. You go through the full solicitation process, you select so many firms, and then the ones that perform the best and that gives you the best qualification, then you give them the project, right? For the parks projects that they have, they do have an extensive knowledge of grant writing. It's not part of the fee that I'm paying them, but I could ask them to be part of that so they could help me write that grant for the Texas Water Development, the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Now, they have been very successful in getting those grants. They have also been successful in getting multi-million-dollar grants from those big grants like the Bill Grant, the Chris's Grant, all of those grants. Now, we don't have them for that project to write a grant, but we could ask them to provide support for that. And them knowing the project very well and being very successful in getting grants could give us a benefit, right? A leg up because they already have that established relationship with the federal government.
I want to get us back onto topic. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a future agenda item coming up, Val, about Kimley Horn's grant writing. So back onto topic, yes.
Okay, and I guess this is just for Mr. Reed. I'm glad that this road is going to get designed, honestly. It's a needed road. So the need itself, for me, isn't necessarily a concern, but I did want to ask Mr. Reed, because the last meeting, we went ahead and approved, or council approved the plan for the $4.5 million certificate of obligation. And there was a timeline of how that pretty much that obligation is going to come, and I realize that cities most of the time parallel the bond sequence with the projects. My question is my concern is whether these agreements, even the ones following, if the decisions are final decisions within these agreements.
So
Meaning if we approve this agreement tonight for this and the subsequent ones, are these final decisions for council? For instance, do we not have any flexibility later in the future, let's say, but because we don't have a locked-in rate on that COO, right? We don't know the actuals of our appraised values. So I just kind of, for me, the sequencing is a concern about taking on the debt because we don't have the actuals for the appraised values. We're taking on the projects. We're taking on the agreements. And is there any flexibility if anything happens or turns that we can go back? Are these agreements final at this particular point?
So when you authorize us to purchase equipment that is part of the $4.5 million debt issuance, then we will be making those purchases. You also approved a resolution to allow the city to be reimbursed once that debt is issued. But you're talking about a hypothetical. What if the appraised values come in lower and our INS tax rate can't support 4.5, maybe it's 4.4? We would adjust the expenditures under these projects, which could still be adjusted so that it doesn't affect the INS tax rate. That's what we would do.
Okay, I wanted to clarify. And I guess my concern was, I guess I wish that these would have waited a little bit longer rather than just the next meeting, because the first publication notice to the residents letting them know that council passed a COO hasn't even hit until tomorrow, and yet these decisions are being made tonight. So that's just a concern that I have, a sequencing concern. And you just answered my governing concern questions there regarding what actions would be taken if, we're coming to where we need to make readjustments to the total debt, if there's flexibility to reconsider the debt later. Those are just my questions.
Well, I think in the overall, well, first I agree with you, the sequencing issue, because sometimes I get ahead of myself, and I think you're pointing that out. So thank you for that. I meant that in the collective eye. But the other the point that I want to say is that it is preliminary in nature, and the engineering was all lined out. I'm pretty sure it was in one of the 45 pages of attachments. And so I think that would drive down that menu item, like if you have to cut back. And you could see that, I don't know what page it's on, so I have it on the screen. So, but it is all line itemed out within that document. So I think that's where the preliminary.
Right, my question was just, are these agreements final when we approve them tonight? Are they binding? Are they final?
So again, if you're making a one-time purchase, such as some of the equipment that's in the 4.5 million, you can't go back and give the vehicle or the equipment back. But when you have an agreement like what we're talking about here, professional services, we have the opportunity to cut that back because it is also a multi-year contract. So again, let me talk about certificates of obligation. You are exercising the authority you have to manage your budget within the current tax rate. COs and the issuance of the 4.5 million is intended to work within your current tax rate. The City Council, in planning a 5-year CIP, identified to keep your tax rate the same, and it's the debt issuance side, the INS, interest and sinking portion of your tax rate, is what you said we will issue to stay on track over your 5-year period at the current tax rate. But if appraisal values come in lower, which can happen, and we need to cut the 4.5 to 4.4, it could be 4.3, yes, we have the ability to do so that the INS tax rate doesn't increase because of this annual debt issuance. Yes.
Good question.
And Mayor, if I could just respond to Mrs. Roberts' statement. We picked Kimley Horn for park design because of all of our consultants. They had a well-qualified team in place, and that was just for park planning. This is a capital infrastructure project, and they were picked because of what Mr. Saif Al-Haddad spoke to earlier. Well-qualified team, available to meet our expectations and timeline. It's the first time we've used them for designing a large capital improvement project. But I admit they've done other work recently, as you've said. But of all of our consultants, we're not giving them more than we have LAN or Collier's Engineering. I can't speak to the others.
And they are submitting as a group of consultants. The different task, drainage, they have another consultant doing the work under them because they believe that their preferred consultant to do the analysis. They have another consultant for the geotechnical investigation. So it's a group of consultants working on this big project.
Okay. Are there any questions about or do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve 14B.
I have a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to start voting. Okay. 14C, discussion action to approve a professional service agreement with Kimley Horn for the citywide pavement condition index PCI study, base bid in the amount not to exceed $151,535, with consideration of add alternates for a total amount not to exceed $249,094, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. Ms. Hernandez, good evening again.
Good afternoon, or good evening. So we are here today because just like the Parks Master Plan that we're working on, we got to develop a roadway map for our roads. We got to determine what is the pavement conditions on those roads and what kind of application we need to do to those roads. Not every road is the same. And so for that reason, in order for us to develop what we call a CIP, IMP, Infrastructure Management Plan, we need to know the conditions of that pavement for every street we have in this city. And so for that reason, we feel that this is a good approach of getting a consultant to provide us that data, and then we can plan our roadways every year for the next 5 years, what application is needed. And really, that's what it is. It's just a pavement assessment.
You want to say? Katie, Councilwoman Cunningham would like to ask a question?
No, I don't ask. I was just ready to make a motion. I've been begging for this for years, so.
All right, let's allow for a little discussion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just
Councilwoman
wanting to
Sanchez.
ask a question of Mr. Reed. These are going to be budgetary questions, since Ms. Miranda is not here. That, as going through the packet, I was just thinking about and considering how we're issuing this debt. In this particular case for this study, which is very well needed, earlier I had emailed about maybe getting the prior PCI study as well. I understand that these studies are typically done by the municipalities like every 5 years or so, but wanted to review the one previously to see what the scoring was like, what the recommendations were like, just so we have something to compare to the new study. But at the same time, I was just curious if the study itself, if this should be financed over a 20-year COO. I was just wondering if there was, why is the study itself being recommended for long-term debt financing rather than annual CIP or operational funding? Just maybe with budget studies, if possibly using reserves. I know we discussed maybe one-time costs, and maybe this will fall in line with that versus incurring debt, paying interest, having that over a long term of 20 years.
Ms. Sanchez-Stevens, that's an excellent question. We presented this at the Strategic Management Workshop, consulted with council on the $4.5 million in projects, and based upon that discussion, Julio Gomez, our Public Works Director, still at that time, came before you April 14th for you to affirm that the $4.5 million in projects for FY26, that you supported those, and we indicated to council we'd go forward to include those in the debt issuance. You can change course and say we want to use reserves. If you'd like to do that, then we could use, it's a one-time project, we could use money within our reserves, within our general fund. You have a fund balance policy. We could ensure that we have $250,000 or up to $250,000 based upon what you approved tonight. And you could say, rather than include that in the debt issuance, I'd like to use fund balance for this one-time expense. We would pivot, and therefore the debt issuance would be for less than $4.5 million. I would consult with Ana Miranda so that she could tell our financial advisor to reduce the fund, reduce the debt issuance accordingly. So
Will we
it's
need to
totally
bring
up to
that back
you.
would that need to be brought back as an agenda item? Okay. Thank you. So,
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think that's great, just having that opportunity, because even though we were at the strategic management workshop, a lot of it was presentation, and we were digesting a lot of information, and we were on a time crunch that we needed to finish, so there wasn't a lot of time available for this type of discussion. I did ask the reserve question even when we were there to see what we can do with that, and there was no time to really address that appropriately. Ms. Roberts also asked a clarifying question, but again, the dialogue just kind of fell flat. So I felt when we receive these items coming back, that it would be a great time for discussion to see what our options are as council in possibly using reserves, leveraging reserves, as well as the CO, because $4.5 million not going before the voters is a huge responsibility, and one that we take very seriously, and we want to leverage our resources if we can. So I just wanted to make that mention.
Thank you.
okay. Any further discussion? Do you want to bring this back? Do you guys want to bring this back next session and see about the different way of financing, or we can approve it tonight and then change the financing in a separate order line item?
Yes, we could come back and have an agenda item that we would actually use a different funding source for this project.
So we can approve it as it written and then come back
Absolutely.
and change the funding source?
That's
Okay.
right.
I
Do
make a
have any-
motion to approve 14C.
I have a motion and a second. Hooray. Mhm. I know, we've needed this for a while.
So I'm going to stay here because the next item is mine too. And that is, I feel that it's together, right? Because once we do the PCI, we're definitely going to know what the condition of that pavement is for our streets. And so what we're coming today with is for the paver. We are super excited.
Let me read the agenda item first. I know, it's
I told you I'm
exciting.
really excited.
14D, discussion action to authorize the city manager to execute a purchase order with Klosner Equipment Company, Inc. for the purchase of the new Carlson CP 85 commercial paver in the amount of $283,666.54. Ms. Hernandez.
Sorry, Mayor. I was getting ahead of myself here. But anyhow, so really excited because this machine is going to be utilized to do some of that work in-house instead of, contracting it out. We will have the equipment to be able to do, shorter blocks, obviously, but we were able to do that work. Currently, what we have is a very smaller machine that only has a 14 width of that equipment. So that means that it constricts us to how much lane we can really do. It's not as efficient. This larger equipment will allow us to be more efficient and do bigger jobs. So I have some pictures that I want to show you what we did last year in July with a piece of equipment similar to this one that we were testing out. So let me pull them up. Okay. So I have some pictures here. How do I show it? Chris, can you help me to show it? Thank you. There we go. So that's the type of work that we can do with this bigger paver machine. Let me get another picture so you can see. There we go. This is the wider lanes that we pave. And this is the machine itself. There, you can see it. The staff operating it. And so it would just make us more efficient. We'll be doing a little more work in-house rather than bidding it out. Cut out in time and cut out in cost.
Any questions?
Yes. Well, I do have a question. My question is this an immediate need for the public? Is the current one that we have not good use for service? And the reason that I ask is simply because as we have a CIP plan on what to improve around the city, and I'm noticing that equipment, let's say the aging of the equipment is like 10 to 15 years, but then the COO timeframe is 20 years. So we're pretty much acquiring a short life asset and we're using long-term financing. So I was wondering, I know that we've done this in the past, but if for it to be a continuance and not actually budgeting for these type of equipment pieces that we do need, really demonstrates a debt dependency And I was wondering, is it an urgent need, an immediate need? Could we possibly create some sort of a budget for public works, for equipment, so that, let's say, this year we draw down the reserves for the PCI, but maybe next year we draw down the reserves for the equipment for public works. But like really leveraging the reserve aspect, that way we don't depend on debt. Because if the emergency ever arises, we won't have debt capacity until 2028 once the COO is issued. So I'm just thinking about how can we leverage that debt? How can we leverage our reserves better? So my immediate question is this. I just wanted to preface all that information as to what my concern is it an immediate need today?
So if you want us to do more in-house projects that are saving dollars to the city, yes, it is. So we can go out there and tackle a lot of these roadways that are broken and they need immediate assistance.
So let me ask you, how many in-house projects are we going to have? Just remind me because my brain's on overload. And I don't remember. How many in-house projects will we have in this coming fiscal year?
So I don't have the answer to you for that yet.
Okay.
But I will have that as we move forward for the budget.
Without that information, I don't feel comfortable voting on this tonight for myself.
And Mayor and Council, if I could add then, we don't have that number because we will plan that number as we're into the budget year. When I started here in 2021, we did 0 in-house pavement projects because we lacked the equipment. And as you know, over the past 5 years, you've helped the Public Works Department by purchasing equipment that's allowed it to do short lane repairs. This is a long lane repair. While the piece of equipment would be good for 10 or so years, the projects that it does is all about applying the right treatment at the right time. So this piece of equipment would allow our in-house staff to repair streets that are in fair to good condition, not failed, by removing the top 2 to 3 or however deep the asphalt is. If there are base repairs that need to be done, that could be done. And then to install it, in-house staff. It's pennies on the dollar than if we don't have this equipment and we had to outsource it, we would get fewer lane miles done. So over the past 3 years, we have seen our in-house staff with their better equipment, and we've shared with you pictures of those equipment. They have improved road surfaces on residential streets that if not for the investment that you made, they could not have done. If they could not have done those streets because of the asphalt continually aging and becoming worse, would cost us more to do later and to outsource it. So the value of this is merely,
Absolutely agree, Mr. Reed.
we don't have that list now,
Right.
but we would demonstrate like we did every year in the last 2 years. We bring you a map saying these are all the streets we're going to do. And because you made this investment, now we're doing these streets. So I appreciate your comments. I just want to say every year we've brought you a new map of what we're doing in-house. And so without this, that map would not reflect several streets. With this, we would be showing you several streets that will get done.
No, absolutely, I agree. The need of potentially, guys, I'm just talking about how we should acquire it, by which funds, because last year we changed our reserve policy to reduce it to 25%, and we still ended at 27.3 or something percent, meaning that we could have actually made the decision to draw down our reserves and actually pay for this out of reserves, so we don't have to finance it. So that's still our standing right now. So the thing is, should we actually finance this right now, or should we leverage our reserves actually? Because I think we might still be in that good financial standing. I don't know if a budget amendment would help with that and get you that paver a lot better. But and that's when it comes to the debt issue. I want to know how many roads, the urgency of the matter of how many, and at the same time, should we leverage that since we did reduce our reserve policy to help with things like this? That's all I'm.
So I am working on that IMP. Russell and I already have a preliminary list. We're just doing the final runs on those roadways and the recommendation of the payment. It's my understanding that Russell tells me last year with a demo machine that we borrowed to test it out, we did 2 roadways. One is Stonebrook, and I don't recall the other one. This old brain forgets, but he did tell me the other roadway.
Royal Troon and
Yes,
Bentwood Pass.
Royal Trim. That is exactly right. So we did two, with the borrowed equipment that we had.
And Mayor and Council, with Mrs. Sanchez Stevens' comments, your decision tonight is whether or not to make the investment to purchase this. Under your agenda item, future topics, you can put on there discussion action on how to fund, and you can name the two things, PCI study and the purchase of, sorry, I'm not looking at the agenda, this piece of equipment. So you can bring that back, which would allow you the time to discuss how to actually fund the purchase. But tonight, it's really about whether or not you want to make the investment to acquire that piece of equipment.
I personally don't feel comfortable in voting with it until I know how many roads. I just want to understand the urgency, especially since it's by debt acquisition. Before we don't have all the information. I don't have all the information that I need for this. But if everyone's okay to table it, I do not mind making a motion to table it, then.
No, because that's
Okay.
the point of us bringing back that other agenda
True,
item.
okay.
And, yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 14D for the purchase of a new Carlson CP 85 commercial paver in the amount of $283,666.54.
Second.
E, discussion action to authorize the city manager to execute a purchase order with Motorola Solutions for the purchase of 50 police APX Next all-brand radios and 16 fire APX Next XN Signal brand radios in the amount of $748, $247. Chief and Andreas and Chief Troncoso, didn't we just do this last?
No, yeah, I think it was presented when Julio was presenting all of the projects. So, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Myself and Chief Troncoso today will be speaking with you tonight about requesting council approval for funding 50 APX Next radios for the police department and 16 APX Next XN radios in the amount that the mayor said, approximately $748,247 approximately. So the city police and fire department rely on our handheld radios, primarily for our lifeline. It's a mission-critical function for our organization to be able to communicate. These devices must provide secure, reliable, and interoperable communications to ensure our first responders have effective operational equipment when they're in the field. The city's current radio inventory no longer meets that essential requirements. For many years, the police department has been unable to transition to a modern encrypted radio channel capability. Encryption is now a regional standard here in the San Antonio as well as Texas metropolitan cities. Why is this essential? Because protecting sensitive equipment for law enforcement and emergency response information is vital. It helps us to enhance officer safety and firefighter safety and maintaining interoperability with surrounding agencies and regional partners. As the council is aware, 2 years ago, the Cibolo Police Department received radios from the New Braunfels Police Department as a generous donation. These radios that we receive are the APX 7000 radio. This radio that we got from New Braunfels was already outdated, right? I am unable to get equipment to support this unless I go through eBay or signing on, but Motorola no longer supports this. It's at its end of life. As a result of getting those radios, it did provide us and have the capability to go to an encryption channel. Right now, I will tell you that the radios that we continue to rely on, as I say, it's unsupported and could fail in critical incidents. Additionally, the city also our contracted dispatcher, the Church Police Department, requires an encryption-capable radio to maintain compliance with our regional communication standards. Without the compliant equipment, the city cannot fully integrate with our dispatch operation services with our agency. So I want to be clear, we've been able to do this now, but without supporting this and moving to a better platform, we can lose that encryption capability. To ensure safe and effective interoperability, both the police and fire department must transition to a modern radio technology to fully support the capability and future demands of both departments. Public safety radios have evolved significantly over the last several years. They are no longer a simple voice-related device. They are an intelligent, connected platform that delivers real-time situational awareness and enhances response safety and improves operational efficiency. The Motorola APX Next platform represents the next generation of P25 mission-critical communication. These are purpose-built radios that provide advanced technology features. Right now, with these radios, you will see real-time information on location on where police officers and firefighters are. We're able to see them into a house if firefighters are there. Where our police officer, if they're in the field, these radios will provide the capability of being able to provide that real-time awareness. Currently, right now, our cars have GPS capability. We know when they get out. If an officer gets in a foot pursuit, I don't know where he's at. These radios would provide that capability to show us where he last was. It also maintains the type of primary communication that now helps us when we have disruptions and things that come up in our day-to-day. It automatically will transmit distress signals. It provides intuitive interface capabilities, but it also has one of the best-in-class audio and optimized environments. This platform represents the shift from a traditional radio, like you see here, push to talk, and provides that additional intelligence, ensuring our first responders remain connected, informed, and effective during critical incidents. One of the biggest enhancements up here too is the microphones that we'll both be getting. They're high quality audio. It helps with, especially in the ergonomic environments that we work in. And it also has the ability to provide video capability too with those devices. So I'm going to turn over to Chief Troncoso because obviously Chief Troncoso will talk a little bit about our fire department radios and their current capabilities.
Mayor and Council, a lot of the same safety features that the PD is looking for, same thing that we're looking for. Our radios do not require encryption, but in 2021, the National Fire Protection Association released NFPA 1802. This standard details minimum design, performance, and testing requirements for portable radios and remote microphones used by firefighters and personnel in hazardous environments. This standard ensures radios that can be operated under extreme conditions, in extreme heat, immersion in water, impact from dropping, exposure to flames. This standard will also address software features such as data logging, like Chief Andres mentioned with the PD, safety alerts, and hazard zone operation models. These radios are day-to-day operations. That's a piece of equipment that is not going to be purchased and set on a shelf. They're using it every day.
Chief, do each of your guys have one of these radios per guy?
The current radio that we're looking for, no.
Is that how is that what we're looking to get to? Is each of your firefighters to have one of these radios?
So the radios that we're requesting, that's the next step. We do have radios, but they do not meet this standard. So our current radios do not meet NFPA 1802.
I think with the fire department, Chief, you have a bank system, right?
Yes, I have a bank system. So our radio systems were assigned per station. So I have 4 individuals at that station, so I will keep 6 radios at that station. So
if you do 6 times 4, how many radios is that? 24 radios.
Yeah, so we rotate them out. So I have, on each shift, I have 10 individuals, and they will get a radio.
When you're fully staffed?
Yes.
Fire Station 4.
No, not Fire Station 4. That's just for immediate, for right now. So this 16 radios that I'm requesting will take care of Fire Station 1, 2, and 3, all personnel that are on duty.
You say 16 or 16? 16.
How come we're not, if we're gonna go out for 16, and ultimately you're gonna need 24?
24. Why aren't we just getting 24?
I think that's one of the things, Mayor, that we have been talking about. Obviously, with this one-time purchase, we realize in talking to Executive Director Huggins that we need to create a fund, right, for communication. So one of the charges that we got from Mr. Huggins was, look, this is a big purchase, but even going further, right, if I add additional officers, we will need radios. So our solution to this is to create a fund where we start to put monies in that piggy bank, and then we're able to come back in the front of council when when the station's built and additional radios.
Do you bank your radios as well?
No, we don't. Our radios are assigned to each officer. We're a little bit different. All of our officers are on 24/7. Our officers also work extra duty jobs. So we don't use them just in the field. These radios are assigned to that peace officer so that they have them. And most police departments are not banking radios. They're assigned to the end user.
And how many officers do we currently have?
We have 47 officers right now.
That's including animal services?
Yeah, the animal services will stay under the platform with our Harris radios, because under this price, we didn't add them into it. But the Harris radios that they do have, Ms. Cunningham, they're good radios, but they would need that capabilities like the police radio would use.
I'm going to go back to Chief Troncoso. You need the number of radios that you need, and these expensive radios, I mean, I understand you bake them, and I appreciate the wise use of your resources in that capacity. But, I mean, why? I think he needs 10 more radios.
So like I mentioned, on any given day, we have 10 firefighters on duty. They will have a radio, and I'll have the remainder 6 for spares.
All right, so you're telling me you're good until Fire Station 4 opens?
Correct.
Okay.
With Fire Station 4, the public safety facility with the bond that we passed, are the radios that we buy for that station going to be included in that bond? Is that an allowable expense?
That wasn't part of the bond, no.
That wasn't part of the bond, like the outfitting of the station?
No.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
just a problem for a later date?
Yes.
Okay.
And we do have the Motorola representatives here if y'all will have any questions for them.
Okay, all right, so I'm sorry, you were saying something else?
Yes, I was saying that our current radios right now do not meet NFPA 1802. And during any weather event that we have, especially here with the rain, any type of water, they short out, and then we have to run back to the fire station and swap them out and dry them out. The weather event in July of 2025, I lost 2 radios because they just didn't meet the standard. And these Motorola radios will meet the standard for all the conditions that we're in.
Okay.
I know it's a lot. I looked up this tech that they're using. So they have the 7,000. The 8,000 radio they were looking to discontinue 2 years ago. So you got to think if the 8,000 level was going to be discontinued 2 years ago, and they're using the 7,000 level. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. And I know it's a big cost, but like tech-wise and everything, they really are using some outdated stuff. And some of the capabilities that this will have is really going to assist and help them.
That's a great point that she's pointed out, and the reason why I mentioned that. We appreciate the donation that we got from New Braunfels, but I can't get these parts. So everything, if you've been with our officers, everything they do is with this radio. It is just as valuable as their gun. This is their lifeline. If they need help, they have to use this radio to get the help that they need there quickly.
I don't have a problem with getting the radios. I have a problem with not having it in the budget, knowing we're going to hire more folk, and the firefighters at that other at the new Fire Station 4, we won't have the radios.
But they may be outdated. I mean, when will that fire station
Mr.
be up
Reed.
and running?
I don't know.
Well,
When will that
Mayor,
fire station be up and running?
Okay. All right, my bad. Mr. Reed, you had to clarify? Okay.
Mayor and council, when we've added additional police officers and firefighters in the past, we included the equipment to equip them. And so should the council add a firefighter or a police officer, it's going to be their base compensation, their benefits, their equipment. When we've hired police officers, we've included, if the vehicle was needed, the cost of the vehicle as well. And we'll outline that for you. So will
Perfect.
this radio be included?
Yes.
Yes, it will.
Perfect. Thank you. I just needed clarity on that. All right. Do I have any further questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion
I'd
to
like to
approve
make a motion.
14E.
I second that.
You got it.
I second.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Me.
And Valerie, I'm an aye. My green.
Oh. Oh. What happened? Okay. All right. 14F. Discussion action regarding written consent and authorization for the city attorney to represent the city of Cibolo regarding the Cibolo Valley Local Government Corporation management of assets and authorizing the city manager to execute the attached letter.
So this is a, if I may, Mayor, so this
Yes,
is a requirement that I have as an attorney who represents two clients that are involved in the same transaction. And since I'm the city attorney, my firm represents both the city of Schertz and the city of Cibolo, who are the two entities who create the CVLGC. Because of some potential upcoming asset management decisions that have to be made, I felt it best to have both Schertz, this was on their agenda tonight, and Cibolo consider signing off on the dual representation. It doesn't mean that something may come up during this process that would require our withdrawal. What it does is give you the opportunity to say, no, we're not going to sign off on this, and in that case, you need to hire somebody else to handle this transaction. Same with Schertz, they would have to as well. So we can't continue in a representation of two clients if the clients object to the representation. What I'm asking you to do is consent to that dual representation, knowing that my professional responsibility requires me to withdraw and make you aware of a situation if I cannot continue going forward. So that's the nature of this letter. We do these on a fairly, it's not all the time, but we do these occasionally because we represent so many cities in the Northeast Partnership. So, Universal City, Live Oak, Garden Ridge, Cibolo, Schertz, we represent all those cities that share boundaries. So we do these on occasion. It's not a waiver of any rights of the city. It's just something I'm required to bring forward.
So the discussion action is to consent.
Well, it's to consent on the front side with regard to the city manager executing the letter. This is no different. So, for example, if I've had boundary disputes between client cities where one city's records show the city limit line somewhere than the others. Universal City and Schertz had a situation with the boundary. We had to do a letter like this because we weren't sure if they were going to ultimately agree on where that boundary should be. So in anticipation of that possibility, we're required to do a letter such as this. In the current situation, as y'all know, because you are jointly with Schertz in the CVLGC, and there are different scenarios on asset management that are being discussed by CVLGC, who I do not represent. They have their own legal counsel. In anticipation of any possibilities, that's why I brought this forward.
Okay. So the letter is attached. Do you have a motion?
I'd I'd like to make a motion not to authorize our city manager to represent the city of Cibolo regarding the Cibolo Valley Local Government Corporation management of assets and not authorize the city manager to execute the attached letter at this time.
I second that. Sorry.
All right, I have a motion and a second. So because she said not authorized, I want to make this clear. And I means not authorizing. Okay? Right? Correct? You're denying.
Council and Mayor, I may have misheard, but I think when Mrs. Sanchez Stevens read the caption, she said the city manager in the first part, the city manager to represent the city.
I
But
said
if-
not
If you
in
said
either-
that, you
not
meant
in
the
both
city
places.
attorney, right?
Right, not.
Thank you.
I said the city attorney, not the city attorney, and also not the city manager to execute the attached at this time, yes. Oh, the first time? Oh, then
Okay.
should I rescind it or make the correction? I like to make the correction. I like to correct.
Is it okay to
Not, not to authorize for the city attorney to represent the city of Cibolo regarding the Cibolo Valley Local Government Corporation management of assets and not authorize the city manager to execute the attached letter at this time.
All right. Discussion from council members that have attended seminars, events, or meetings. Which side do you guys want to start at? Jeff, you want to start? Jeff, Councilman McLaughlin.
Went to Max and Louis. It's a great atmosphere. And then I've been working with Chief and the police department to address some safety concerns in Foxbrook. So Chief, I appreciate all your work there. I did get messages back from the citizen. They were very grateful at the quick response there, so greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Wait, Councilman McLaughlin, can you tell us what you ordered?
The Texas burger? I think that's what it's called. The one with jalapenos, onion rings, cheese. It was good.
Councilman Roberts?
I did go to the very first, I guess, opening of Max and Louis. It was informal. We walked by and they come in, and very, very good atmosphere. And had a great opportunity to visit with the owner and with the manager of it at the facility. And it'll be a great asset for us.
And what did you think about attending SAMA?
Think about what?
SAMA,
Oh,
the San Antonio Manufacturing Association that you were at?
I was. That was very impressive. And I think it was well worth our time to invest for that.
Thank you. Ms. Patterson?
Awesome. I attended
Councilwoman
the
Patterson.
Hollywood grand opening, which was really nice. And then I also went to Max and Louis, and I went last night at 7:30 p.m. and it was still really busy. So they're doing great. So great asset to our community. Got to talk with Drew a little bit too. So very happy to have them here. And then I went on the GBRA water tour and also the air show. So thank you so much. That was a great experience and an opportunity to be out there to speak with them. So appreciative to the EDC for setting that up. And then also working too with the city and CPD for some speeding concerns that some different neighborhoods are having. So getting some good results from that, very helpful, and they appreciate the data.
Councilwoman Cunningham?
So I wasn't at the last meeting, so this is kind of 2 meetings worth. Shred Day, which I'm sure y'all talked about last time, Shred Day, the mulch giveaway, disc golf, and the garden plant sale. Hit all 4 of those the same day. I actually tried to stop by the cleanup, but y'all had like just left. It was still like the muddy prints were all still there. So that was a very busy day, but all of the events went really well. Really impressed with the Parks Committee and what they were able to put together. And then also Shred Day was insane. I've never, ever seen that many people. It took me 35 minutes to get down Main Street. So really great. I think there's opportunities for us to partner with other organizations to get additional trucks in the future. Volunteer banquet was wonderful. Again, y'all did a great job, City Secretary's office, in planning that and decorating and coordinating the food and everything. I met with a Lions Club. They want to, I am a Lions Club member, but I met with the guy who's in charge of coordinating events. It's the Shirts Cibolo Selma Lions Club, and yet the majority of what they do is in shirts. And so they really are looking to expand to Cibolo. And so we're working on some projects that they could potentially come in and assist with. So that's exciting to have that group of people. They are everywhere. They constantly show up. They're the movers and shakers. If you need something done or you need a volunteer, they will be there. So very excited about that. We had our last youth council meeting for the year this past week, and really excited for this next year. Mr. Huggins had told the youth council about some opportunities to work at Cibolo Summer Nights and have a booth there, so they seemed really hyped up about that. There are some things that I would like to bring back to council about youth council or to our council subcommittee with really clarifying the ability of youth council to meet and text each other outside of the meetings. That has been a huge limitation for them, meeting only 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours once a month. And they have a lot of energy and excitement, but it's hard when you're only meeting that infrequently and you're told you can't meet outside of those hours. So I will be bringing that back. That's a request from Youth Council as well. Met with some Tri-County Chamber representatives about doing an event in the city that would help with scholarships and things like that. And then the Cibolo Sausage Supper that came back, that was really fun. So I stopped by there, saw the fire department. They were out there grilling and making all the sausages. And we could actually see the air show a little bit from Ernie's, so that was nice too. You kind of get dinner and a show. So really good time all around. I also went to the SCUC ISD art show. My kids are very into art, so we always go to look at what the other students are doing too. And every year they blow me away. These kids are amazing. Some of these paintings and drawings look like photographs that, like, I would pay good money for some of these in my house. So I really encourage you, if you have an opportunity, to go to any of the SCUC exhibitions where they're doing their choir. They just had a mariachi concert, anything like that. Make an effort to go out because they don't take very long. They're pretty short, but the talent that we have in this community is amazing. So,
Councilwoman Sanchez-Stevens?
Yeah, I think we've been to all the same events, right? We all were invited to go to the air show. That was great fun. I was able to attend on Saturday. I know some here were able to attend on Sunday. So that was a great time there. Also, I think I saw a couple of you guys at the GV SUD public hearing to listen out to their strategic plan. So it was interesting to see all that discussed. Also went with you all, those who were able to make it to the San Antonio Manufacturing convention, and there was a good speaker there just as well. That was great. It was great to network and to see those Cibolo businesses that are already in our city, and hopefully we can visit with them soon, just as well to show them support. Also, the Guadalupe Blanco River Authority tour, just finding out where the water comes from and the trunk lines and how far they extend and the capacity that they hold and the cities that they service. And also was able to go to the Max and Louis event, and when went around to go get a pastry, I saw one of our youth council persons there, and that was a real treat to recognize her and say hello. So it was very well attended, and just looking forward to their presence here in our community.
Councilwoman Roberts?
Well, I'm going to be very boring. The only thing we did have our CRWA meeting last night, which I will give y'all the update of that at our next council meeting. I attended the Parks and Recs meeting that was on Wednesday of last week. My husband insisted that I go to Ace Hardware, which I'm glad I did, and I got to visit with the owner that opened that up. And he took me there specifically to buy a purse. And I was like, Ace Hardware has purses? But yeah, I mean, it's really kind of cool. So if you haven't had the chance to go in there, I would strongly suggest everybody go and check out Ace Hardware as well.
Something for everybody.
Yeah. And I was at the GV SUD thing that, thank you, public hearing. I couldn't think what it was called. That's it. Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown?
Okay, I've been real busy with my family this past couple of weeks, but so I had the opportunity to attend the air show as well, and it still gives me goosebumps. I really enjoy those. I grew up watching those and on Air Force bases, so I really enjoy that. We also attended the golf tournament. Sanchez Stevens. That was the first time I've ever golfed, so that was really interesting. Participated in, of course, our committees that happened throughout the week, and sat alongside work sessions and questions and things like that with city leadership. Also, today was an amazing day for me. I was able to go and speak to a bunch of youth across our sister cities about leadership and opportunities in the military. And also, Max and Louis. I think I had a calzone on the first day, and then I went back on the second day, and I had some steak or something. It was okay. On a personal note, my family, like I said, kept me busy. One of my favorite scriptures, you all, is the book of Proverbs 31:28. Her children arise and call her blessed. I truly felt this this past week as I watched my daughters, two still high school graduates, one graduate with her master's in psychology, the other next week will walk and become the first doctor in my family. So I remain grateful for the opportunity to serve both the city, my family, and my favorite community. Thanks.
Well, I did almost everything that everybody else did except for the Max and Louis thing, which I am going to be doing tomorrow, maybe for lunch. And then, yes. Okay. Okay. And then the other, but I did go to Andy's Frozen Custard before the Fiesta Frozen Custard Cup went away. And it was like Fruity Pebbles and Andy's Frozen Yogurt. And I'm just going to say, it was fabulous. And I've been working, to try to understand our economic development issues a little bit better, and bringing some other aspects to the city. And I just want to let everybody on council know, I appreciate all the work you guys do for the citizens, and let's just keep it up. Let's just keep doing it. And that's it. That's all I got. So now 14H, discussion on items the city council would like to see on future agendas. I would like to add the Kimley Horn grant.
Potential.
Grant something, what?
Oh, you wanted to talk about grant writing and the ability maybe of Kimley Horn?
To at least even just for the component of our parks, because we are investing. We're showing up for the parks, and so that's going to make our application look good, right? We've done the master plan. We're putting some money into it, which I'd like to see that we do that with our fire stations also, fire positions. And then Ms. Sanchez Stevens, did you want to add the?
We were supposed to bring back the discussion on how to finance the PCI and also the paver.
Anybody else? Oh, Mr. McLaughlin.
Mr. Reed, I just have a question. Are we still on track for the next meeting to bring back the contest winner?
Yes.
Perfect. And just a
And
reminder.
so, if council members have not done their rating, please get that in.
Thank you, sir.
And then also the strategic partnership grants, when will those be coming back? Or when will we be getting scoring?
They will be at the next council meeting.
I do.
There, Ms. Brown?
On the paver, I am curious as to the order of merit for how she's going to determine which road is first. After we figure out how we're going to pay for it, how are we going to decide which road is first? A lot of residents come to me asking about roads. I just want to know how we're going to determine that.
I would allow Mr. Al-Haddad to add to me, but we'll use the existing pavement condition index. We use C-Click Fix for resident requests for potholes repairs, and then we do on-site tours because the study's old. It is a piece of information we use to determine, but we use current information from
Mr.
C-Click
Reed?
Fix, and then the staff goes in the field to observe. And the reality is there are more streets that we need to address than we can get to. They also try to distribute the work that they will do across the 4 council districts as well.
And if you could just bring that back in a summation of saying, okay, District 1, these are the priority streets, District 2, District 3, and District 4, or something in that capacity. I think that's what you're asking
That's
for.
exactly
correct?
what I'm
Okay.
asking, thank you.
We will do that just like we did last year. So,
Perfect.
yes, it will be done.
There is one other very important future agenda item at our next agenda meeting. I had sent an email out to you all today to complete your evaluations. Please be sure to your charter responsibility of doing the evaluations on each of these folks. Then, once that's all done, then there will be like a full report that is printed out, and it will be provided to you. I think it's a personnel matter. I need to get some legal advice as to whether it has to be an attachment or whether it's a personnel file issue, but it will be sent to you through the appropriate channels for you to review prior to next meeting, and that we will have an executive session and come out with those evaluations. All right, so everybody will see the whole agenda of everybody unless you tell me not to at the meeting. So, yeah, I want everybody to get the full knowledge at the future meeting. Everybody needs to see everything. It needs to be as transparent as possible. So unless you don't want to look at it, then you don't have to, I guess. But that will be at the next future meeting, and it will be on an 074. All right, that is it for me. Anybody else? All right, moving to 14I, discussion action on the review and confirmation of all upcoming special meetings and workshops, scheduling the time, date, and place of additional special meetings or workshops. Ms. Chapman.
You have the NEP luncheon on this Thursday. I've already bought tickets for those that responded. If you have not responded and you'd like to go, please let me know so I can purchase it tomorrow. Friday is the rescheduled Touch a Truck Cibolo Summer Nights at 6:30. And then you have your chamber luncheon next week, I believe. It's on Tuesday the 19th.
Yes. Thank you. All right.
These are not official city things, but I want y'all to be aware because they're coming up this weekend. UC ISD has a multicultural showcase on the 16th from 9 to 1. Cibolo Summer Nights is, she may have already said that. And then Purse Bingo for the Guadalupe County Children's Advocacy Center is on Thursday from 6 to 9.
This Thursday.
It snuck up on me too.
Mhm. It's very exciting. I will. Yes. Hopefully winning purses. Okay, 15.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second.